but we're going to start with a recipe that I do all the time, and every time I serve it, people go crazy over it. So I usually serve it as an hors d'oeuvre. It can also be the main dish, but let's say you're making a big batch of gumbo or jambalaya and you want to kind of put an hors d'oeuvre out to get the party started. This is it. And I tasted something very similar to it in New Orleans, and I came home and I just had to make it. I actually was cooking with the head chef at Emeril's, and they do a barbecue kind of shrimp that has this wonderful hot sauce that's combined with butter, and it's just, they serve it with little biscuits, and it's just delicious. Any of the Emeril's restaurants, that's one of their signature appetizers. So they've got Emeril's all over the country now, in Vegas and wherever. So if you happen to be lucky enough to eat at one of his restaurants, order the barbecue shrimp, or better yet, make this at home, and it tastes almost like it. So let me get to the recipe. I want to actually check on the shrimp I've got in the oven and take a peek at it and see how we're doing. During the course, we're actually going to roast the shrimp with the shells on in the oven, and it gives it so much flavor. And we're going to roast it in a garlic butter hot sauce. It's just delicious. So let me just check on it here. Got it roasted in foil, and I just want to kind of turn it around. And I've got some lemons in here, and I'll show you how it all comes together in just a minute. I'm going to actually turn up the heat a little bit, and then we'll get to this recipe. All right, and I'm also going to toast some bread up in here, because this recipe, they serve it in New Orleans, as I said, at Emeril's with little biscuits. We're going to serve it with some crusty French bread for Duncan. You got to soak up every little bit of that sauce. All right, let's get to it now. We're going to make, basically, I call it fiery Cajun shrimp. And it's really delicious, and it's spicy and hot, but not too spicy. I always serve extra Louisiana hot sauce on the side, so for people who want a little spicier, a little more kick to it, it's easy to achieve that. All right, so we're going to start out with the buttery hot sauce mixture that's just delicious. Now, this recipe calls for a lot of butter. We're going to start the diet on another day. So we've basically got 2 sticks of butter that we're going to melt on the stove top. Get that melting. Also have a couple of cloves of garlic. We're going to use fresh garlic. I'm just going to chop that up. This is one of those recipes that you want to serve with a roll of paper towels or lots of napkins, because you're really kind of, that's the fun part about it. You get right in there and you peel the shrimp and sop up some more butter, and it's just yummy. So over here we've got some unpeeled, uncooked shrimp. We want it with the shell on it, with everything on it. It's just been deveined, and again, that's fun. That's, you know, when you go to New Orleans and they have the crawfish and the shrimp boils, they don't shell the shrimp. That's really when you cook. I think when you cook shrimp with the shell on, it gives it so much flavor. So this is, like I say, a roll up your sleeves kind of thing, lots of napkins around, and you just kind of get in there and make a big mess, and it's just yummy, and that's part of the fun. All right, so my butter is starting to melt. And this is a really simple recipe. Basically, we've got butter, we've got garlic, we're going to do some lemon. I'm going to get my garlic in here. We even have a king cake today. Picked that up at Alpha Delights. Around Mardi Gras season, they make those there. So, and you know the story behind the king cake? Basically, you know, it's a wonderful cake that they've been making in New Orleans for years and years and years, and it's kind of like a sweet bread. It's got frosting on it, and they decorate it all up. But the deal is, there's a little plastic baby hidden inside the cake. And whoever gets the baby gets to buy the cake next year. So that's kind of a fun Louisiana tradition. All right, so we're going to do some fresh lemon juice in here. This is a great tool for getting the juice out of the lemon. This little wooden tool here. So juice of about half of a lemon in here. Then I'm going to do some Worcestershire sauce. Just kind of eyeball it. I do about a tablespoon or so. And then about 4 tablespoons of your favorite Louisiana hot sauce. So I actually happen to collect hot sauces. I have a whole bunch of them in my pantry, and there are Mexican hot sauces and all sorts of different hot sauces. For this, you want to do the real Louisiana type of hot sauce. So I've got a few of my favorites, and the recipe calls for about 4 tablespoons. I kind of eyeball it, and again, we want this sauce mixture to be spicy but buttery, and we're going to serve the extra hot sauce on the side. So we call it fiery Cajun shrimp because it has that Cajun flavor in there, but the butter kind of cuts a little bit of the heat. If you like it really, really spicy, go for it and do a little bit more hot sauce. So it's up to you. But the sauce is more, because of the butter in there, it's more of a pinky orange colored sauce than a red, this butter sauce that we're making. So we just want to melt that all the way through. I'm also going to slice up some lemons because we're actually going to toss some lemons with the shrimp. They're going to roast along with the shrimp. So we've just got a few lemon slices in here. Just kind of toss them in. I do that a lot of time when I'm making fish, is I'll just cook fish right on top of sliced lemons, and I think that really, that lemon flavor just really gets in here. So I don't need to really boil or cook the butter long, just until it's melted and everything's combined, the hot sauce, the garlic, the lemon juice, and the Worcestershire. And then I'm just going to pour this buttery wonderfulness over the shrimp. And this recipe serves a nice big crowd, about 2 pounds of shrimp. And at this point, we're just going to toss that shrimp in the butter mixture, get it all coated, cover this with foil, and we're going to roast this in a preheated 375-degree oven. Depending on the size of your shrimp, if you get the really big guys, it's going to take a little longer. So anywhere between 12 and 30 minutes. So we're going to throw this in the oven. We're going to check on ours. And periodically, every few minutes or so, 5-10 minutes, you want to get in there and just give that shrimp a good toss. So let's check on it now and see if we're almost done. I know our bread is nice and crispy. I want that shrimp to just turn pink. We don't want to overcook it. And we're almost there, so I'm just going to give it a second or two longer while I slice up that bread. See, a couple of them are turning pink and the others just aren't quite there yet. You don't want to overcook it. In New Orleans, I mean, that is key. They do not like their seafood overcooked, and that's why they do it so well. Crank up that heat one more second here. The oven's taking its good old time this morning. My oven at home cranks it up and it's done in no time. But I'm just going to slice up some French bread. This is one of those dishes, again, like I said, you got to have a French bread with it. I'm also going to slice up some, or chop up some fresh parsley. So bread knife would be a better choice, don't you think, Amy? All right. Nice crusty French bread. They do a lot of cornbread down there, and oh, I had some mean tasting cornbread. All right. Flat leaf Italian parsley. I'm going to give that a rough chop, and we're going to just kind of throw that on top for a little bit of garnish. And then again, I like to serve this alongside not only extra hot sauce, but some extra lemon, just so that people can just squeeze a little extra on top if you need it. So we'll cut up one more lemon here. We can just cut this into wedges, or just you know, so it's easy to squeeze. All right. And wait till you see what's for dessert too, by the way. Bourbon bread pudding, which I'm super excited about. So let's take a look and see how our shrimp is doing. And if it's not there yet, we'll leave it in just a little bit longer, and we'll put it all together in just a minute. Oh yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to pull it out right after the commercial break, because a couple of those just haven't turned pink yet. So we'll let it cook, and I'll garnish it up in just a minute. By the way, recipe for this Cajun shrimp, you can find it right on our website. And you can also pick it up at any festival food. So don't go anywhere, because